Hey guys, this is Grim from Grim and Books Reviews, and today we're going to take a look at the Master Grade RX-78-2 3.0 from Mobilesuit Gundam. Okay, so when you hear the word Gundam, you normally associate sometimes with Wing Zero, Unicorn, Ultron, Sandrock, and so forth like that. But actually, the first ever Gundam was the RX-78. A lot of people actually refer to this Gundam as the granddaddy. So when you hear sometimes like Gundam collectors, they're having a convo, they always refer to the RX-78 as the granddaddy Gundam. Okay, so like I said, this here is the 3.0. It's actually based off of the 1-to-1 scale that was in Japan at Diversity. There is also the RG version of this, which this is actually based off of. The real grade actually came before this one, believe it or not. Okay, so let's talk build. Alright, so this kit is not painted, it's just been assembled and the sticker's been added to it to give it that, really decent looking effect. It does have a top coat and maybe a few minor panel lining here or there, so you don't need to do much to actually get these kits out of the box looking really well. It has this beefy look about it, it looks robotic. It doesn't give you that cartoony vibe from like back in the 70s when this came out. It's actually like really cool looking. When you think about mechas, this here is like top-notch mecha in my book. A lot of people say like proportion-wise that it's certain things that match up. Like for instance, the hands are really big, but to me, that just screams robotic. This kit also features a very multi-tone look, so if you look at it in certain angles, you don't necessarily see like white, blue, red, and so forth like that. You get, off-white, you get gray, you get your different colors that actually just makes this kit look really well. Building this guy up was sort of a bit of a chore, reason being, usually with most Gundam kits, you would build the inner frame first, and then you put on your armor pieces and stuff like that. But in this case, certain parts of this kit, you literally had to build it or do those two actions simultaneously. Like for instance, with the arms, were a chore to actually put on. That's why I didn't really paint this kit, because to do this process, it will just take too long. And to actually say, okay, I'm gonna paint this later on or take this apart now, I'm not even gonna try. This kit literally one of the hardest builds that I've done yet. And I built such kits as the Shinanju, I built the Unicorn, well, I built like 3 unicorns, I built the Banshee, I built the full armored unicorn, and so forth like that. I built the new Gundam, and like I said, this one actually took the cake when it came to just putting together. Hats off to anybody that could actually paint this kit or has the time to actually paint this kit and make this like really good. And shout out to all the builders out there. Okay, so let's get into some of the gimmicks that this kit has. Firstly, I want to say this kit is very detailed. I mean, like, it's really detailed. Alright, so starting from the head, it looks really well. See all the different panel lines and stuff like that, so you could actually fill them in with panel lining pen, or if you have panel lining ink on the whole. With this kit, you also have movable vents in the chest. Gundams are always, well, especially Master Grades, are notorious for opening cockpits. There's also a sliding door in front here. Side skits are pretty decent as well. You know, typical Gundam fashion. They all have side skits and front skits and so forth like that. What I love about this kit is the movable armor. So when you bend the kit and stuff like that, you get sliding. The sliding armor gimmicks is what actually catches this kit for me. And like I said, look at the part separation. You get, you know, the different colors. You get the grays, you get, you know, the different shades of white and stuff like that. The backpack is actually pretty decent as well. It has a little gimmick of pulling forward a little bit. And there's two thrusters underneath, as well as the thrusters themselves move individually to a certain degree. And they also have this clear piece inside. Other thing that I love about this kit is the light up feature. Now the thing is, with the light up feature, you have to get one of those Bandai LEDs, and it sucks if you don't have it because this kit doesn't come with one, so that means you gotta go get yourself one. But the LED goes into here and you just place back the head. So the LED looks like this. You just flip the switch. Okay, so you drop them in and you place back the head, and there you go. And you get a pretty cool glowing effect, which is pretty nice. Okay, let me just put back his beam sabers. They kind of do fall out sometimes. Kind of tedious to actually always be disassembling, well, taking off this head and trying to fit the LED inside there. So it's up to you if you want it. Not only that, the actual LED for this is not supposed to be green. It's supposed to actually be yellow. So if you want to be accurate, you will have to get a yellow LED. But in this case, all I have is green, so I'm only gonna be using green. Let's get into some of the accessories that comes with this guy. So firstly, this kit comes with two beam sabers, which are located on the backpack. It comes with a core fighter, which actually is a pretty decent thing that comes with. It's a really good. It has two reasons why this is actually pretty good. One, for display reasons, as well as this could actually go inside the Gundam itself. Now you're probably asking, how can this fit inside the Gundam? Well, this here transforms. So what you do, you put this tail down. Well, the nose first. Well, you take off this landing gear that comes with the plane. You fold this here down like so. You fold down the fin. You fold in the wings. What you then do, you could push this cockpit up into this area like so. And then the Gundam itself, actually, yeah, so it separates at the waist. Let's raise this flap up. And inside the Gundam, there is basically a core block which holds the torso together. What you then do, you then take the core fighter, stick it into the waist unit like so, and then you take back the Gundam and put it on top. And what happens is well, okay, the LED has to come out to accommodate the core fighter. Then let's put back the top on, and there we go. we have the core fighter inside the Gundam. Now guys, please note, if you have the LED inside here, you need to actually remove the LED to put in the core fighter inside the Gundam itself. What will happen is that when you push down, the head is gonna fly off. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, I personally use the core fighter just for display purpose. It makes more sense in actually using, especially if you're gonna paint this kit, you don't want to get this scratched up and stuff like that. So definitely I would leave it outside the Gundam. And like I said, just use this core block, which is actually pretty decent as well. There's a little pilot inside. Okay, let me just take them out. Okay, so there's a little pilot figure inside. So it just fits up inside here like so. And you can't go wrong with using this because like I said, it's convenient. You could use the LED as well as you won't scratch up your core fighter. So definitely use the core block. On one note about the core fighter, if you look at the bottom, there's what you call a little section here. What you could do when you put in this into the Gundam, which you flip this, what happened is it actually altered the position of the pilot inside the cockpit. So what happens is that he will actually be facing upright when he's inside the Gundam. Other thing that's actually pretty decent about the core fighter as well is that the canopy is actually you could actually open, and it retracts inside the core fighter itself to give you that open cockpit action. Here we have the RX-78 shield. It is very iconic, very detailed. Some of the features that this shield has, it has an opening and closing visor by just flipping down the switch here. You're able to see, as well as these here could actually be taken out and flipped around, or be taken out. And what you could then do is, if you had any more shields, more RX-78 shields, you could stack them up on top of each other. I don't see why, but I guess if you do have maybe the G-Fortress and stuff like that, you could do that as well with this one. Now here's the handle. This is what he would hold. So it goes onto the arm. It's open hands. So you then rub the fingers around here. Okay, so let's wrap it around his hands. And then what we then do is take this back piece that help it support it up like so. Okay, so here we have him holding his shield. Now the shield isn't really secure well because, like I said, the whole mechanism of holding up the shield is very terrible. So the slightest shake, it's gonna fall over. The only thing that's gonna hold the shield is the fact that he has really a decent hand grip. So that's the only gripe about this kit in particular when it comes to the shield. It looks good, but it's not functionally well. Other than that, if you don't want to have it in his hands, one good aspect is we could then take the shield, fold this down, fold this like this, and if you look at the back of the Gundam, there's a little flap which you probably would need a tweezer, or if you have a X-Acto knife. And what you then do, by just finessing it a little bit, you can then flip it. We have a hidden peg hole. Then take the shield and we line up the peg to the hole, and it goes into the backpack. Here we go, nice satisfying click. And usually the RX-78 usually has the shield somewhat on a slant behind his back. So he usually has it on a slant on his backpack, like so. Here we have the beam rifle. It's two-tone, which is actually really good. Usually sometimes you get these, weapons just one color. This one here has part separation, which is nice. It's really good. Okay, so we have a moving scope. Could tilt right and left. We also have this handle, which could also swing right and left. Here we also have a somewhat of a grip inside there. See right here, it's a little grip. If you have again a tweezers, this helps this kit actually hold the weapon. So again, once this is in his hand, it's not going anywhere. I really like it. It's really, you know, it's actually really cool once you detail it up and stuff like that. Again, no paint needed. This looks good out of the box. His last weapon is a bazooka. Again, really detailed. I love the part separation. No big set of gimmicks. The handle in front here slides a little bit. It goes over his shoulder, like so. He's able to hold it well because again, there's a little peg that comes, well, not really, it's a peg that actually swings out from the handle and secures it to the hand. So again, not moving anywhere. There's also a little gimmick of it that it can slide forward a little bit, I guess to help you with different angles and stuff like that of arrangements of the hand. So it wouldn't, because if it was just straight like this, sometimes, you know, weapons could actually, there's a little give basically, is what I'm trying to say. So again, it's pretty decent. It's cool. There's nothing too grand about it, but you know, simple is always good. You also get a pilot figure of Amare in flight suit. You get a action base connector, which actually helps hold up the Gundam when you could do your different aerial poses or dynamic poses, as you would say. And you get a pair of beam saber effects for your beam sabers, so you could have him dual wielding and stuff like that. So you're probably asking, like, okay, he has all these weapons, where do they go? This here, the beam rifle, could be stored away on the shield itself, and you could do so by pulling down this peg and then sticking it into one of these holes at the side here, and there we have it. This beam saber is stored on him. Now the only thing is, by doing so, he starts to get really back heavy. As you can see, he's not standing up. So I'd advise anybody, if you want to display this guy, don't display him with the weapons. You could probably just have the shield to the back, but not this. Don't ever put the rifle on the shield while it's on his back. It will only topple over. The bazooka, on the other hand, again, you just flip out this peg, and then in the back here, in the same fashion as the backpack hole, there's a hidden, or should I say hidden pegs behind here, where you could then take the bazooka and then place it in the back of him, like so. But like I said, again, you gotta be careful. He gets very back heavy. If you don't want the bazooka behind here, you could also take the rifle and place it in the back of the Gundam as well, like so. Seems actually a better fit. One aspect about this Gundam has very unique hands compared to a lot of master grades. Each fingers are articulated, so you get, you know, all the joints basically bend, and there's also a piece that slides open like this to help secure the weapon. So for instance, the beam saber, which also has that same slot as well, you then flip it out like so. Has a little peg slot, and then we take the beam saber, open up the hands, and fit it in like so. So as you can see, it's, without even putting the hands around this, it's actually secured already. So then we just make it look good by just putting the fingers around it, and then we take our beam, and here we go. totally secure. That's one thing about this kit that I like, is that when you put a weapon in his hand, it is secure. It's not going anywhere. A lot of people actually don't like these hands for whatever reason. To me, I really like them. The only thing is, I guess they're kind of big and sometimes they don't look well on certain Gundams, but to be honest with you, it kind of suits this kit a little bit. In particular, it's, you know, people call them gorilla hands or whatever on this kit. I don't think so. It's like, usually if you have a robot, you definitely want big hands with this guy. Okay, so let's get into some articulation. Firstly, head 360 without a problem. So yeah, no problem at all. It looks up this much. Could look down this much. We get a forward and back with the head. You could get a full 360 without a problem. We also have a inner shoulder joint, so that pull comes out to give you more of a give or give back. Hands go up about this much, which is not too bad. We also have a 360 turn here. Oh, one of the armor slides came out. That's okay. Yeah, 360 here. We have a really good bend on this guy. At the rest, also 360 as well. Let's go to the crunch. This much here, which is, you know, considering that he has the core block in him, it's kind of, you don't really get much of a crunch over. Backwards though, you got a decent amount. Okay, when it comes down to the legs, we get a swivel up here. Could almost move 360 again, so you get a really good knee bend, really well. So he also has his toe articulation, as well as he has heel articulation, so that's actually really good. It's actually very detailed underneath, so you also have your thrusters underneath, so that's kind of cool to point out. Oh, we dropped off here. Let's put this back in. That's one other thing. This guy, you gotta be careful. Certain parts, at least with mine, because I always say that sometimes you might buy my Gundam kit and your Gundam kit might be two separately different things. The problems that I might get with mine, you might not get with yours, and vice versa, guys. So, final thoughts about this guy. It's a really good kit. Gotta say that the reason why I got it is because it's the design I like, and I always tell people go with this. True, there's a lot of different versions and stuff like that, but always go for the one that actually you appeal to, or that appeals to you. Now, is it a perfect kit? By no way in hell it's perfect. It's, you know, it has its, you know, little drawbacks. You do sometimes get, like, you know, parts falling off and stuff like that, but it's fixable. Nothing but a little bit of tin cement, we could fix that. That's not a problem at all. Quite frankly, you know, the light feature, not really too fond of it. You know, you always have to be taking off the head, put it back, and sometimes it's literally a bitch to actually put in the LED, make sure that the LED is light in. But again, you don't really need that. So to me, honestly, I give this kit out of 10 definitely a 7. Now, with some paint and stuff like that, and also, well, also to help tighten up the joints and stuff like that, to make it look also good, maybe some water slides, oh, this could definitely be a 9 in my book. I have to say, I enjoyed building it. It actually, you know, it really tested me to build this guy, because like I said, and for some pieces of this kit, you actually need to put the armor as well as the inner frame at the same time. It literally requires you to do that for the arms. And the arms were literally like a really pain to put together. But other than that, this kit is awesome. If you don't like this, the Origins is actually really well. And definitely if you could get your hands on the 1 Year War version, that's amazing. I really love the 1 Year War version. I would love to get that kit. Anyway guys, with that said, this is a wrap. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have subscribed already, really thank you. We really appreciate this. And with that said, peace out guys.
Grim and Zorpak.